4 News.
We have some breaking news today about South Carolina's threat to secede. Here's Officer Valent on the scene.
You're right, Abby. South Carolina threatens to secede. They have adopted the Ordinance of Nullification, which declares the tariff null, void, and unbinding. The ordinance has been closed with a warning. If the tariff continues to be enforced after February 1st, 1833, South Carolina will be seceding from the Union. President Jackson has retorted to this statement, saying that he is prepared to hang every under, irrespective of his name or political position. He continues to tell the public the repeated belief in the Union and his determination to uphold it. Back to you, Abby.
In President Jackson's first message to Congress this morning, he started his attack on the second bank of the United States, now Alyssa at the Capitol building.
Many of our rich men has besought us to make them richer by acts of Congress. By attempting to gratify their desires, we, even the result of our legislators, arrayed section against section, interest against interest, and man against man, in fearful commotion which threatens to shake the foundations of our Union.
President Jackson has also made allegations that the bank itself is able to influence Congress by granting loans to Congress members. He has also claimed that the thought of the bank itself is unconstitutional, which contradicts the Supreme Court decision in 1819 in McAuliffe v. Maryland. Many Americans are agreeing with him.
The bank is refusing to send us money without adequate security in land or goods as a pledge of repayment. This might be a sound practice for the bank, but it's just trouble for us.
Jackson has set out to destroy the bank by gradually withdrawing all federal deposits and depositing them into certain state banks. The federal bank is becoming increasingly crippled. However, the bank is expected to survive until its charter expires in 1836. President Jackson feels that he has won a great victory over what he calls a government-approved monopoly of the money power by wealthy Easterners. He has told people that it is just another triumph for the democracy. Newspaper cartoons have been released showing Jackson triumphing over the downfall of the Second Bank of the United States. Nicholas Brindle, the president of the bank, is portrayed as a flaying figure with horns.
Hello, I'm Edward Budding. I come from Stroud, England. Isn't it a pain your grass whenever your lawn gets too long? Well, I got the thing for you. I got a lawnmower. You come to my house on 816 22nd Street in Boston, Massachusetts.
Closed captioning for the hearing impaired is brought to you in part by...
You just pick out whatever you can.
Come on down from Paul's Crazy Credit. We've got every flavor: Tootsie Roll, hardtack candy, and licorice. Why wait? Come on down. 202 10th Street.
Breaking news. A compromise tariff has been made. The public is calling it the Act of 1833. Along with this act, Congress has adopted the Force Act. This states that the President is able to and will use military force on any state that does not comply with the Tariff Act.
Now this tariff started in 1828 originally, correct?
Yes, Abby, but many people had opposed it, calling it the Tariff of Abominations.
Actually, one of its biggest opposers of this tariff is John Calhoun. Many times he has argued that it was unconstitutional because it favored the North's manufacturing industry over the South's commerce and trade. He's argued that the states, each individual state, should have the right to nullify or refuse to obey any act of Congress of which the state believes the act is unconstitutional.
But at the beginning, the tariff was only supposed to ensure that America stayed independent to itself and protect new manufacturing industries over foreign competition, not damage the South's commerce or trade. Correct, Abby?
Correct, Bryce. However, the South, especially South Carolina, who declared the tariff null, void, and unbinding, has become increasingly alarmed with this tariff. John Calhoun released a statement explaining his and the entire South's view on the tariff. It is being called Calhoun's Doctrine of Nullification, Calhoun's Exposition, and South Carolina's Exposition and Protest.
We will bring you more information on the new tariff after this commercial break. I can't read this.
Well, I have a solution for you. It's called Braille. Braille is a little dot sticking out of the sign that creates a bumpy surface on the sign, which is then translated to letters so blind people can read it.
Yeah, we had it in 8th grade.
I can read this!
If you're interested, send your sign to my warehouse with £2 and I'll put Braille on it. Send it in today.
And we're back.
Yes, we are, Abby.
Let's finish talking about that tariff.
Okay, Abby. There have been about 5,000 copies of this made and given to every member in the House of Representatives. Calhoun has stated, if it be conceded, as it must be by everyone who is least conservative with our institution, that the sovereign powers delegated are divided between the general and state government, and the latter hold by the same tenor as the former, it would seem impossible to deny the states the right of deciding on the proper remedy to be applied for their correction. The right of judging in some cases is an essential attribute of sovereignty itself and being reduced to a subordinate condition. In fact, to divide power and give to one of the parties the exclusive right to the general government, matters which not department to be exercised, is to convert it. He continues on to say, quote, in fact, to a right consolidated government with unlimited power in diverse state, in reality, all of their rights, it is impossible not to deny such a plain conclusion, unquote.
Interesting. Now, were there any of the others who opposed this tariff other than John Calhoun, which obviously feels so strong about this abolition?
Oh yes, Abby. Not only Vice President John Calhoun, but some of his colleagues, including Daniel Webster and Henry Clay. Actually, Henry Clay has been one of the great compromisers.
The people are now calling Henry Clay the Great Compromiser. This agreement has promised that this act is slowly to lower the tariff rates back to what they were in 1816.
And now for national news. In Great Britain, the House of Lords and the House of Commons passed the Slavery Abolition Act of 1833. As of August 1st, 1834, slavery will be abolished in the vast British Empire. The bill is said to abolish slavery throughout the British colonies, promote the industry of the manumitted slaves, and to compensate the slave owners. Compensating the slave owners is estimated to cost £20 million. The slaves are given a period of apprenticeship before they are released, in hopes that they can enter the real world with skills to help them.
In other news, Isabel II, who is only 3 years old, has been crowned Queen of Spain. Her mother, Maria Cristina, of Bourbon to Sicily, is acting as her regent until she becomes of age. Her uncle, Don Carlos, is planning on claiming the throne before she grows old enough.
Oh, that is a young queen.
The first coeducational college, that is, one that accepts both women and men, has been opened in Oberlin, Ohio. Oberlin Collegiate Institute has opened on December 3, 1833. Founders Philo P. Stewart and John J. Shippard have set out to make both the town of Oberlin and the institute the religious community and a school. Philo P. Stewart has said, the elevation of the female character, bringing within the reach of the misjudged and neglected sex all of the instructive privileges with hitherto have unreasonably distinguished the leading sex from theirs. The first women to take classes from Oberlin Collegiate Institute are classes with males, but are pursuing degrees in the ladies' course. Student groups such as Oberlin Non-Resistance Society, Oberlin Peace Society, and Oberlin Peace Colleague emphasize the spiritual foundation of their founders. In the future, Oberlin Collegiate Institute plans to expand their commitment of the co-education for the education of blacks. What's next for the women of this nation? You decide.
That is quite something, Abby, isn't it?
It is.
That's all for tonight, folks.
Remember, there's no news better than Channel 4 News.